Alright, welcome back to The Witcher Free Blood and Wine walkthrough. Part 2 on New Game Plus, highest difficulty. Let's go find the golden fish and then the unicorn. Or actually, just let's start with the unicorn and then move on to other stuff. Yeah, nice unicorn. Nice solid horn.
Perhaps an apple will work. Or some sweets.
We would not be in this predicament, dear sister, were you still a virgin.
Do you really wish to have this conversation again? Here and now?
Hush, or you'll spook the beast. We shall try the sweets.
Hey folks, gonna have to ruin your fun. Sorry.
Who's that?
All right.
Cold game's not likely to tempt a unicorn.
Around here
Crispy apple. Should like that like any other damn horse.
Clearly. Geralt? Nice,
An apple. Yum yum.
there we go.
Easy.
That was easy enough.
Gardens are huge. Be better off on horseback.
Clearly. We're in a fairy tale land.
Golden fish should be easy to spot once I'm under.
What the?
They must struggle a lot. Wait, candy? The fuck? Toffee?
What a scoundrel!
But my, is he manly?
Easy to spot, Geralt. Clearly. Now, granted, I am playing with the fucking hell.
It looked gold to me.
You twit. Get back in the boat.
All right, that might be it. No, hold on. The fucking hell. Yeah, using Witcher senses, fuck all, that's all I'm gonna say. There we go.
Hey, wait. Stop. It's important.
King Cormorant, sire, accept this offering we bring. Prithee cast upon us your merciful eye, and bear before us its secrets.
As the moon is heavenly course doth trace, in my domain I await that moment of grace, when a soul of good or ill repute brings me a gift, fitting tribute.
A key.
Why, you bomb-botched wretch!
He's ruined the game!
Disgraceful.
Well, I mean, the whole point is we're trying to save Milton. I wonder if how this would play out if they actually gave you the ability to do so. Depending on how well you did in this. Anyway, let's talk with the duchess. I think that's the term they use. Anyway, Duchess. Toussaint is really a weird place. I mean, it's on one part France, on another part Arthurian legend combinations.
How is it the duchess does not feed him as well?
If you please, Your Grace.
We do not please. We act out of the highest necessity. All shall be explained later.
But it's against the rules.
I am the rules. Geralt! At last.
Got a key and a clue.
And I've another. Show me yours. Who wrote this drivel? I begin like a crone, hollowed out with ease, then end like a mouse, with a head of hard cheese.
Let's see. Grown. With ease gives us green, right? And mouse with the head of hard cheese. Greenhouse?
You're a genius. Several greenhouses in the gardens, indeed, but only one with a door that locks, the key to which looks just like the one we found.
Greenhouse it is then. Let's go. Wait here.
What the butch?
What was that?
I'm here.
This belonged to you, maybe?
It did, but you may keep it. I've a new one. I do not know you. I've done you no harm. Yet first you butchered a Bruxer who was dear to me. Now you pursue me. Why?
You've killed 4 innocent people, at least.
And you? How many innocents have you cut down?
Not here to talk about me.
Yet that is exactly what we are doing. So, did they send you after me? Who are they?
What do you mean, they? Duchess hired me. You've been murdering her subjects.
Is it as simple as that? I would ask you to convey to the Duchess that I've but one victim left, but you'll not get the chance.
A higher level vampire.
Kill again.
Hell.
You were to stay where you were. Regenerate!
I know you're in trouble. I can help.
I'll help myself!
No, he's my friend.
Yes, Geralt, it's me.
Regis? You alright?
All is well. All's in order. Wounds such as these heal on vampires in moments. But we've not seen one another in ages, my friend. At least in human terms, that is.
How's this even possible? Last I saw you...
I was a bubbling, shapeless smear, having been rather spectacularly melted into a column of a certain castle. In somewhat better shape now, as you can see. Hardly peak form, mind you, but were I human, folk would think me a demigod, I dare say.
I'm sorry. What happened? It was my fault. Never got a chance to apologize.
No need, Geralt. Bygones. I did not have to join you on that expedition. No one twisted my arm.
Miraculous regeneration. How'd you manage it?
I had help. From the one you hunt.
Him? How? And what have you been doing all these years?
Not the time nor place for such stories. I suspect we'll get a chance to speak at ease and at length later. Now, however, we must deal with the reason that brought us both here.
So you being here, it's no coincidence?
Your powers of deduction seem to have waned not one bit. I'm happy. I came here for Detlaf. I fear he's become entangled, landed himself in serious trouble.
So that's his name. He's your friend?
You might call it that. Though Detlaf is, how would you humans put it, more bestial than I am. But not to worry, I'm working on him.
Haven't exactly done a great job with that. He's killed one knight since I got here, at least 3 others before I arrived.
For good reason, I'm sure. Understand, Detlaf is not some decadent shit who kills for sport, or to assuage a dryness of throat or a dullness of mood.
So in your opinion, what are his reasons?
Precisely what I wish to find out. And then I will convince him of the error of his ways.
Got a lot of faith in the guy.
Despite appearances to the contrary, you two are quite alike. You've both noble hearts, yet you both are wont to perform ignoble deeds. When circumstances force you to, of course. Remember the year 964?
That was 3 centuries ago.
Blind fear gripped Rivia, Lyria, and Spala. Women and children were dying. Their mutilated, dismembered corpses littered the fields.
Brute of Lyria. Read about it. Chewed up almost 200, then fell to a common poacher supposedly armed with a dagger blessed by some prophet.
It fell to Detlaf, who then found a poacher asleep in the brush near his snares and dropped the fiend's corpse at his feet. And thus, a legend was born.
Vampires rarely help humans. Must have had his own agenda hunting the beast.
You err. He slew it for one reason alone. The monster killed a lad who once in the street had offered Dettlaff an apple, expecting nothing in return.
Terribly noble of him.
You do not have a monopoly on altruism, my friend. Vilgefortz melted my body. Dettlaff found what was left. As per our codex, he had a choice: to leave me where I was, or to care for me and nurture my remains. He chose the latter, regenerated me at no small expense in his own blood. Do you know what that means to a vampire? The gravity of the endeavor?
Probably same thing it means to a human. You owe him your life.
Much more than that. The act itself made us blood brethren. A bond so strong humans cannot even imagine, which is why I know something ill is afoot.
Always had an overdeveloped sense of empathy.
Each vampire has a unique talent, one they hone over centuries. It's precisely what renders us so difficult to classify. Dettlaff's trump card is his herd instinct, his tribal propensity. In point of fact, he prefers the company of lesser vampires and shuns that of humans. If he walks among you, killing egregiously, it can only mean something's upset him immensely.
Anything specific? Some set of things that'd be likely to set him off?
How should I say this? Dettlaff doesn't understand men, their world, its rules, its conventions. He's naive in a sense. He doesn't comprehend your games, knows not what it means to lie, deceive.
Suggesting he's maladjusted, and venting his rage.
I'm suggesting maladjustment can at times breed conflict. But is it the case this time? I cannot say, but intend to find out.
Gotta find him, before something upsets him even more, and all Beauclair is awash with blood.
Well, we share a cause then, just like the old days.
Not entirely. I mean, when I find him, you know.
I know you've a contract on his head. Yet your true task is to stop the beast killing, not necessarily to kill the beast, am I right?
All in all, sure.
Let us find him. By the time we do, I hope I'll have convinced you Dettlaff is no monster.
Fine, all right already. But for now, evidence is stacking up against him.
Hear that?
The posse. Knights must have tracked me here.
I prefer they not find me here. I've makeshift quarters at Mère Lachaise Long Cemetery. We'll meet there.
See you.
Witcher, we flew here as fast as our courses would carry us. Yet I fear we're late all the same. Pray, where is the beast?
Still investigating. About to inspect this site. Withdraw your men before they trample all over the evidence.
Sirs, we must let the Witcher do his work. Milton's murder cannot go unavenged. We must allow the Witcher to ply his trade. Good hunting to you, Witcher. We're relying on your mastery of your craft.
Sir! Sir! A letter for you, sir!
Letter? Who from?
Can't rightly say, sir. I was just to deliver it.
Here. And thanks.
No, sir. Thank you. And I truly hope I'll be of service again.
My dear Geralt,
I hope all is well. I imagine you hot on the trail of some nasty monster. Or is it an overly complex curse this time? Oh, Geralt, I wish I knew for certain. Whatever is keeping you busy, perhaps you'll need a break. For those moments, I offer you this intriguing little mystery I happened on in an old manuscript I bought off a merchant from Nazaire. The tome's author claims a certain Professor Moreau once called Beauclair home, and this professor conducted research into Witcher mutations. I don't know much else, but I suspect that alone might pique your interest. The tome mentioned a journal interred with the scholar when he passed. It could very well lead you to his laboratory. I'm enclosing a map I found folded in the tome. It's smudged in a few places, but I hope it proves useful anyway. Please be careful and come back to me quickly. Your Triss.
A professor who studied Witcher mutations. Might actually be worth looking into.
This is Beauclair.
Around here, it's
And
wine,
everything-
wine, and more wine. But me, I prefer brandy.
Nox à la vie. Might be worth looking into.
About it.
Around here, it's wine, wine, and more wine. But me,
All is in order!
Alright, let me see about big game hunter. No, not Witcher contracts. Alright, let's see. Now I need the Grandmaster Smith, but the main reason I want him is largely just to buy another set of Nilfgaardian armor, because you can get that from
Nice
him.
tune.
There's a lot of stuff to do, but I'm gonna focus right now on meeting Regis.
The exhibition of the Reginald Dobry Monument will remain closed
At,
until further notice.
My, do I ever feel like doing absolutely nothing?
Oh, the Witcher! The one...
Greetings.
A Witcher from the School of the Wolf, here in Toussaint. Greetings. I'm Lazar Lafargue.
Geralt of Rivia. Seem pretty enthused. Got a job for me?
Rather. Mind you, it's no monster hunt, but I'm sure you'll be interested all the same. I'm an armorer, see, and I've for years sought diagrams for Witcher armor of exceptional quality, Grandmaster level.
Heard of them. Never seen any though. Thought they were lost.
Not quite. For I've been lucky enough to learn that their holders came to Toussaint. Alas, they then perished, but I know where. I just need a partner to help me retrieve them.
If you know where to look, why not get them yourself?
No offense, but do I look like a rough-hewn adventurer? Besides, who would serve my clients while I romped about seeking them? No, I rather leave it to someone familiar with such matters. bring me the diagrams, and from them I'll forge for you whatever you fancy.
What do you have on offer?
What he has on offer is the Nilfgaardian armor, which is going to be better than the one I have. Now, keep in mind, though, that I do need to get a bit of an upgrade there. But the main point with regards to it is that it will increase. There might be a better one at another vendor, but then again, I'm swimming in fucking money, so what do I care? That's the thing. We got Mahakam heavy armor. Now, you should pay attention to the kind of stuff that he does sell. Like, let's see here. So I've been using Manticore boots. Manticore boots, resistance to damage from monsters. The main thing about Witcher armor is that, in particular, resistance to damage from monsters. But it's not gonna make a difference when, you know, you're talking like 98 armor, that kind of stuff. Toussaint, Tourney, Conditier. That's actually pretty solid. Pretty good, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna need to get glyphs. Oh, let's see. Pants. Need pants. Actually need some gauntlets. Resistance, yeah. Nilfgaardian Guardsman gauntlets. Gonna pick those up. Take those. You know, the Quensign intensity is kind of bullshit because it doesn't help at this kind of damage level that I'm taking, right? That I'm dealing with. It really doesn't really matter. Now, that's actually a pretty good set over there. It does have Art Sign intensity as opposed to Adrenaline, which is preferable from my perspective. Now, one of the things I'm interested in, Mountain Folk, resistance to piercing damage. Resistance to damage from monsters 2%. Toussaint boots. Huh, that's actually really good. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't, I simply lose the, yeah, I'll take that. Let's see, pants. So the main thing here that you're interested in as a player is you're interested in getting increased. Now, it's going to be difficult to find something to replace the Manticore stuff, especially the Grandmaster level stuff. But it's, right now it's just greater Quen, greater, okay, Igni, Yrden. Actually, what the fuck does Yrden do, really? I mean, I really would like to know. It's like, okay, I can get greater glyph of all that. What's that gonna matter? Quen is at least something you can understand.
All these diagrams somehow wound up in Toussaint? How is that even possible?
Toussaint was once home to Tiensail, a legendary and now deceased elfin master armorer. Witches from all corners of the world came to him to forge their plate, their mail.
Heard about him. Supposed to have been the best.
And thus he charged a king's ransom for his work. Witches would take difficult, dangerous work to earn the coin to pay him. Some, alas, met with misfortune, and the diagrams they carried were left to rot with their earthly remains.
Got it. Find them, find the diagrams. But how can I know where to look for their remains?
As it happens, I learned my trade at Jensail's side. So I heard the stories of the missing witches firsthand. What he told me, well, that is what discouraged me from seeking the diagrams out myself. We must strike a deal. I shall tell you all I know. In return, once you found the diagrams, you will let me draft a copy.
This elven master, How'd he end up taking a human for an apprentice?
My father forged armor. As a youngster, I helped him, then began forging my own pieces. Master Toussaint saw my work and offered to take me on as his apprentice. Only now, years on, do I realize the honor that was. Alas, my master perished in a massacre later, slain by racists. Though he taught me everything he knew, I did not manage to complete the guild's requirements for Grand Master while he lived. I know I have no equal in the trade. Yet, until I complete Witcher armor of Grandmaster quality, I shall never be certain I've become my teacher's equal.
Where do I look for these diagrams?
I know of 5 likely fallen witches, each from a different school, of the wolf, griffin, cat, bear, and manticore. Which should I start with?
School of the Manticore. Probably know the least about it, though once, long ago, wore some armor forged there.
My master said the manticores have their fortress in the far east. A century past, one of their number came to him, a witcher named Merton. He made a poor impression on my master. He stank like a dwarfen still, and quarreled fiercely all the time. Toussaint slammed the door in his face and told him to return when he sobered up. He would conduct no business with a drunk. The witcher, however, failed to return. Folk say he got into a booze-fueled brawl with the ducal guard. He was arrested and sentenced. Bastoy prison, where he was held, well, it's been a ruin for years. Still, you may want to start your search there.
I'd like to ask you about something else. Farewell.
Good luck on the path.
I'll deal with that later. I simply wanted the Manticore stuff because I had actually used it. The rest of it is just optional. I'll go for it, don't get me wrong. I will absolutely go for it. This is a long play and I am interested in finding and doing everything. But, or mostly everything. I don't know if I'll manage quite everything. There's stuff that... Like, I played Blood and Wine when it came out. I did everything that I found in my path, and yeah, I actually missed some stuff.
I'm so glad.
There's some stuff pretty hidden away. Now, there is an armor here.
You need new bridges? Oh, God!
Now, obviously, what I'm interested here is finding out, like, okay, this guy also has the same shit, so nothing new over there, sadly enough, because I would most certainly want better armor. Piercing damage, critical hit, okay. You may get the chance, though, at better stuff.
Up for a round of Gwent?
the serendipity. I'm so glad you're back.
Do you like it here?
Yeah, so I don't need the extra toxicity over there. I have enough.
Ah!
Let me go talk with Regis.
A fruitful hunt to you, Witcher.
Geralt's friend died fighting Vilgefortz. Yes, that Vilgefortz, who's charming, nice, appears as a good guy in the Witcher TV series. He's really not. He's one of the most power-hungry assholes in the entire Witcher series. Or sagas, whatever. And that's saying something about the Witcher series.
That's my knees ache something horrible.
Oh shit. Gotta be careful. Geralt? Roach? Hello? Can't summon Roach. Well, I'll just walk.
The hussie's got a waist thin as a rod, but her bum could fit a pack of hounds.
A high and mighty northerner.
I probably just need to fast travel. I do love Toussaint, though. Holy fuck. The background? It's probably the best they've ever had for a game. And drag us. Hold on. Insectoid oil. I mean, what's the point? I have all of the oils, even if they're the default ones, the early ones. I mean, damage reduction is still damage reduction. Alright, time to switch the armor around. I mean, what's the point of buying it if you're not gonna use it, right? Just gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop the Manticore stuff. No. Not yet at any rate. Okay, Greater Glyph of Yerden. That'll do for now. And of course, well, it's still good, don't get me wrong. But I need the armor protection more than I need actually, can I craft stuff? Because I know I have one recipe for crafting, yeah, an Elf Guardian. Actually, I think that was the one I got, wasn't it? Yeah. The one I was using, rather. The alternative is the Impera, but here's the thing about the Impera, what I dislike about it. It's fucking white.
Gotta blow this up if I want to get rid of the Endrigas.
I remember in The Witcher 2 playing that. The real, one of the main issues I was dealing with. Because I played a lot of Witcher 2. One of the main issues I was having, I was playing on the Insanity difficulty level. Okay, those, the stats are nice, don't get me wrong. They look like absolute fucking ass. Now, I do have a die, but I cannot apply said die to that. I can handle shitty boots. You barely see the pants to begin with. It just kind of sticks out, doesn't it? Okay.
Regis. Couldn't have picked some other place to meet.
What, the cemetery not to your liking, Geralt? Right, we got stuff to do in Novigrad. 'Cause I need the upper mill to specifically enchant my armor. Give it 3 slots. Well, I think 3 slots you can apply at any blacksmith, can't you? It's very expensive. Let's be clear, like even with all the money that I have right now, it's enormously expensive. But at the same time, it's still, you know, it's very much worth it. The reason is that by changing the armor type, right, you can make the armor more useful. Specifically, light armor gives you access to, increases your regeneration. So if you can get all armor to be treated like a light armor.
The world's never-ending creation be praised.
Wouldn't mind a glance.
Okay, now I feel like a complete and utter fucking idiot for not having realized this much earlier. Yeah. Fucking hell. Like, I really genuinely feel fucking stupid as a result of it. Erendite, what could we do?
Thanks.
The world's never-ending
Crap. Thanks. So...
I'm going to go get something better. A better steel sword, that is. All geared specifically, I think I can use it now. Didn't want to use the potion that lowers the level requirement. But I believe I have access to it right now. Could use the legendary Viper sword. No. Yeah, so we get critical damage bonus. Sign attention, critical hit chance, bonus experience from humans, chance to poison, okay. Yeah, that's probably better with the exception of the... That's not the iris I'm looking for, where? What? The hell? Where is Iris? Don't tell me I lost it. I would be really fucking furious if that was the case. I swear I had it. Ah, there we go. Yeah. That's the one I want. It's a 106 weapon charges with energy during combat. When its color changes red, the strong attack will release its energy as in an extra powerful strike, at the cost of part of the attacker's vitality. That's what I want. It's a special weapon, isn't it? But anyway, chance to cause burning, chance to freeze, chance to stun. I need runes. Now all I need would be an armor piercing one, which I don't have. I don't know them by heart, to be honest. Like how they look and all that, so probably have the rune recipe somewhere. Can't be arsed. Yes, it's gonna cost me an arm and I like to buy them, but I gotta be aware of the money factor as well. I don't have unlimited funds, and I did get all that money for one purpose. Corvo Bianco was very fucking expensive to get to repair.
He scared me a little.
The world's never ending.
Wouldn't mind. Thanks.
Why don't you all just get off my back?
He scared me a little.
Regis! Damn it. Locked. No way I got the place wrong. This is it. Gotta be. Gotta be another way in around here.
What now, you piece of filth?
ugly bastard.
Wait, was that the Kikimora? Fucking hell. That was nasty. Just basically stun-locked me to death. That fast, huh?
Regis! Damn it. Locked. No way I got the place wrong. This is it. Gotta be. Gotta be another way in around here. Decaying bones. Kikimors must have tunneled into the grave. Kikimors. Little here.
Oh dear. Wonderful. Just wonderful. The bullshit meter. Yeah, I remember when first finishing Blood and Wine that I made the review of it. And one of the things that I said that a lot of people disliked is how I really disliked the gameplay. This is why. Because it's just shit like this. Now granted, I understand. I understand, right? But, like, the developers just made the entire DLC, the entire expansion, filled with crap like this. It's kind of a real shame, because, like, I get it. You know, the main game has problems in the sense that you get powerful and you smash through opponents. Fair enough, CD Projekt. Fair enough. If the solution from a developer is like make annoying enemies every bloody corner, then I'm sorry to say, they literally attack so fast that their animations don't even play. Like, for instance, there, I'm not using any mods. I'm not playing with anything extraordinary here. Like, outside of me using a graphics mod for the sake of toxicity and having NVIDIA and GeForce Experience on, so I have like a filter that, you know, makes the game sharper, etc. I am not using anything.
Kikimors. Victuals aplenty around here.
Yet I'm being killed, slaughtered even by 2 Kikimoras. I understand, you know, parry timing, all that. You can possibly use that. The Braxa fight, for instance. Fair enough. I get smashed to pieces by the Braxa, but I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it. Why is it that when it comes to RPG developers, in particular RPG developers, they feel the need to make shit obnoxious as fuck?
Around here.
hell? What? It hit me mid-stride. The animation didn't even play. I didn't even get staggered. It just died. What the fuck? Well, we're off to a great start. I'm probably just gonna get the Manticore armor and use it at certain portions in the game just to reduce the monster damage. But even then, I might be...
Wars. Victuals are plenty around here.
Yeah, there we go. The fuck, Geralt.
Show me what you got. Kicking more eggs. Need to incinerate these to ash. Some stench. An illusion.
Let's see about that illusion.
Interesting.
We get the sword. It's too high. Pretty solid damage, don't get me wrong. Whew. Actually really got a good damage. At the end of the day though, Arendite is just a better weapon though. Because for all the crit chance, for all the armor piercing, for all that, the one thing that Arendite does have is that each blow generates charges which increases sword damage by 10%. Each charge. You can get 10, so you're doubling the damage. But oh, that's why I was doing so poorly. I see. Needed to reapply the oil. Now, the one thing to understand here is this. That 10%, what does it mean, really? 10% of sword damage. That's 90 to 100 damage for each sword blow. Let alone the crit chance bonus, all that you get from other items. Gray armor die. So that's what really makes it work. That's why Arendite is something that you really generally can't replace. Because what would you replace it with? Something that will ultimately do less damage. I'm gonna drop these. And let's not even talk about the Arendite that you can get here. The NG Plus version.
Agreed to meet a vampire at a cemetery. How much more cliché can you get?
Nothing comes readily to mind.
Could have left the door unlatched.
What of my privacy? I value it rather deeply. Unmolested, especially by unwanted guests, that's my preferred state. Besides, I knew you'd find a way to get in.
True enough. Need to find your friend. I'm hoping you'll agree to help.
I shall do whatever's in my power. Yet what you want or even need must matter little. What matters is what Dettlaff wants. If he does not wish to be found, you will not find him. Ever. End of story.
Come on. Gotta be some way.
Vampires can evade detection by the senses, and no divination magic works on us. Even the most precise megascope would be useless.
And this? Could this help?
Wherever did you get that?
Off one of the beast's victims, found by a bend in the river. Body was chopped in pieces. 3 of those pieces were hands. Hand with the ring seemed the odd one out. Abruxa had taken an interest in it.
It's Dettlaff's hand, without a doubt. It will do splendidly.
Ring's pretty intriguing. Made of no metal I've ever seen. And the ornamentation.
It comes from our home, where we lived before the conjunction of spheres. It's actually mine. I received it from a dear old friend. You might call him a humanist. He saw us vampires as guests here, guests who owe their hosts, meaning you humans and the elder races, respect.
Respect? Meaning not to treat us like cattle to be slaughtered for food?
Precisely. And the reason why I, in turn, gave it to Dettlaff. To remind him of the ideals my old friend championed.
Can't you just summon Dettlaff? You're both higher vampires, there's gotta be a way.
If I'm to be entirely candid, there is indeed one. But believe me, we will be better off never availing ourselves of it. It is a last resort. Absolutely.
Last resort? The hell? Why?
There is a being who can summon Dettlaff. Possesses the authority, even the power, to force him to appear in a given place. But the very act of contacting this being, well, it's akin to walking a slack line extended over a chasm filled with molten lava. An exercise as perilous to me as it would be to you. A risk I'm unwilling to take. I beg you, let's do it my way. It will be both quicker and easier.
The hand. What do you plan to do with it?
You've heard of Kovinaris' theory of tissue memory retention.
Rings a distant bell. Read about it in Alchemia Oblitera. There's a copy of Kermorin, tattered, nearly disintegrated. But if memory serves, Kovinaris never managed to prove it worked.
He did prove it, just never managed to publish his findings. He and I corresponded, you see, after we became friends. Thus, I know he completed his research and performed the first tests. It's complicated, so without delving into details, it is possible to use any piece of tissue to reconstruct what a whole body experienced.
How's it work? We need any special equipment?
We must brew a decoction which Kovinaris gave a rather poetic name, resonance. Once imbibed, it sends one into a trance similar to that induced by narcotics. This triggers visions of events linked to strong emotions experienced by the tissue's owner. Picture it as dreaming a fragment of someone's life.
Any chance we might see what Dettlaff was doing just before he lost his hand?
Indeed. Though I also hope resonance will reveal the location of Dettlaff's hideout.
Kovinaris spent half his life proving his theory. Wild guess. Making a dose of resonance won't be easy.
You guessed correctly. In addition to Dettlaff's tissue, we shall need a powerful occipital lobe stimulant. Effectively a poison, to make one susceptible to visions.
Well, got a few ingredients to choose from. Unfortunately, all are pretty rare. There's Mamoon glands, but closest ones I know of are in Vizima. A spotted white saliva would also serve, but they were cold to extinction over a century ago. Could go with a kobold's eyes, but the creatures are sentient. Rather not gouge one's eyes out.
Given that we lack the time to sleuth this out ourselves, permit me to summon some help.
What was that?
A raven? Rather a common sight at this latitude. Very intelligent fowl. I asked him to look for the creatures you mentioned, him and his brethren. Perhaps they'll find one in the area, and I would hazard that a flock of ravens will spy any said creature faster than a solitary witcher would. With all due respect to your skills, my friend. It will take them some time, nonetheless, so perhaps you'd care for a snifter of mandrake.
Rarely say no to a snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
Even better. I remember your mandrake hooch. Made people say things they'd have rather kept to themselves.
Now, what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to himself?
So, think you've set a nice little trap for me? Sorry. Want to get me to confess? Gonna have to try harder.
I love a challenge. In that case, my ears are cocked. What must I do?
How about you get the ball rolling? Reveal one of your secrets. Vampires, intriguing creatures, must lead fascinating lives.
Anything in particular interest you?
Yeah, let's start with the big question.
Gotta ask you the big question. One everyone wonders about. What happens after death?
You wish me to tell you if the human belief in the gods is well founded? Well, that I do not know. We vampires differ exceedingly from you humans. Our matter, that of which we are composed, can exist without form. We require neither a heart, nor a brain, nor air to breathe.
But were you dead?
As humans understand death, yes.
Feel anything? Understand anything?
It's rather hard to explain. I felt something very unsettling. Something I cannot even name, for I did no reasoning. Only after rebirth did I begin to understand that what I had felt was cold and unimaginable fear. If not for Dettlaff, I might have drowned in an eternity of icy terror.
Can't have been alive then. Sheesh, experience like that must be vicious.
Indeed, it's hard to compare to anything I know. Yet you are aware we don't see death as you do. The way you cling to life, we find it entirely peculiar. You are mortals, ergo it's a foregone conclusion. You will die. It's but a question of time. Thus, I often find myself wondering why you try so very hard. To die at 20 years, 40, even 100, what's the difference? They're all but the blink of an eye.
Depends on your point of view. Man who's got 1,000,000 crowns to spend can't possibly understand one who's only got 20.
Very true. One's outlook can indeed change much.
Curious what you did after you were reborn.
As I'm sure you can surmise, at first I was thoroughly absorbed with recovering. As it is, I've still not recovered completely. Yet I was so weak the first year that I could not stand nor move on my own. Dettlaff bore my weakness bravely, showed great patience. If not for him, I wouldn't be here, and I'd have regenerated far slower. Once I could at last stand unassisted, I set off for Bruges, for my one-time home of Dillingen. There I led the peaceful life of a rural healer and surgeon, enjoying my neighbours' respect and, in fact, constituting the exact opposite of the monstrous vampire the populace imagines.
Bruges, you say? Rebirth make you sentimental?
Perhaps a dash. What of you? Where have you been? Ever find your Cirilla?
Back then, yeah. But we parted again soon after. And when the time was ripe, she came back. Defeated the Wild Hunt together.
Seems I certainly missed quite a bit while I was absent.
True enough. But it's a conversation we'll have another time. Need to know more about you now. Got a new life, a new body. That give you a new start? Blank slate?
Starting all anew is a very broad concept. What exactly do you mean?
Your blood addiction, say. Wondering if your body's the same, if it still remembers. Maybe if you drank now, you wouldn't get hooked.
All addictions are a form of slavery. Re-addiction's not a risk I'm willing to take, just to test a hypothesis about corporeal regeneration and whether propensities carry over.
Fair enough. Curiosity, that's all. Sorry.
Not to worry, Geralt. Curiosity's a natural reaction under the circumstances, apart from which I've always valued that trait in you.
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Dettlaff recreating you out of a wet smear? Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible, as my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
For a bit, but Triss helped me get it back. Actually, pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard. We vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, we can be reborn with a living higher vampire's help. However, if one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent. There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
All right, give you one question. What do you want to know?
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt. Cruel parsimony, I'd say, but I shall do my best to make it count. If you were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a witcher?
See, Regis. Doubt I'd know how to be anything else.
Ever tried?
See, you're determined to get an answer, to find out if I like being a witcher. Just refuse to ask directly, as always. I like being on the path. I like picking up a lead, a trail. I like the tension right before a fight. And nothing gets my adrenaline flowing like battling a beast. Even gotten used to people treating me like a freak, an outcast. Yeah, not something I think about much, but I like being a witcher.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave, and thus a privilege of the very few.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment. Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Quite vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
Far as I know, none. Now what you got for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted white. It haunts an abandoned residence in the Caraberta woods.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted white before I was born.
Then it seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted whites. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught. It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the white survived entirely unmolested.
Know anything else about this curse?
I don't recall much in particular. Really don't attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or, perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something...
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Sorry, Geralt, I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear. What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct, and a curse, in one place. That a coincidence, or are they related?
Ah, professional curiosity. Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the white's saliva. Nothing beyond that.
Whites rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted white after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, and they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate. It's covered in spoons.
Spoons?
Spare me the skeptical smile. I'm but the bearer of this news. Or perhaps this spotted wight is a hoarder. Or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that wight. Uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the wight will simply sell you some?
Worst case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
For a moment there, I imagined you asking the wight to spit into a vial. Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
So, see you later.
Yes, till later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus, I hope to identify a suitable alternative.
All right. Good luck.
And to you, my friend.
Right, so spotted wight. That's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna require quite a lot, actually. A significant amount, actually, of effort to deal with that spotted wight. What am I dealing with here? Oh, the horrors. The Echinops are here. Damn it, Geralt. Go for it. Tried to kill the Echinops, failed. Well, the art spores, whatever. It feels with blood and wine, at least from the sense of, at least from the perspective of, come on, what the hell? It won't let me summon my horse for some bloody reason. Now I know what I need to do to fix that. Just simply reload my save. If that doesn't work, I am a bit at a loss. I mean, the key isn't working. I doubt my F6 key is, which is my keybind for it. Yeah, I know it's an awkward situation, but how often... There we go. How often do you need to summon a horse? Not all that often, right? So I've put it on something a bit out of the way because I'm actually using the other keys for useful stuff. Maybe I should make another keybind guide for Witcher 3. Having played the game extensively.
Bandages.
The hell?
What's that about?
The dressings. Bandages. Where did I put them?
Forget it. Bandages won't do him any good.
What? Oh, but he breathed still a moment ago.
Mm-hmm. Breathed his last then. Bled to death. Legs broken. Femoral arteries ruptured. Wound like that, you're dead in minutes.
Gods.
What happened here exactly?
I was rolling through, fully loaded, when I heard screams. This one crawled towards the road, then drooped to the ground, lost consciousness. I jumped down to help him, dress his wounds. Then you appeared.
Pretty admirable stopping to help a stranger.
Truthfully, when I saw him, I considered it might be an ambush. The thought entered my mind, I near decided to crack the whip. But to abandon a man in need? It's simply not the decent thing to do.
Decent enough in many other places, believe me. Before you go on, clean your hands thoroughly and burn your shirt. Might also want to rub some thyme on your body to be sure. Smell of blood might attract ghouls otherwise.
Who might you be, precisely?
A witcher.
Oh. Do you expect some beast might have killed him?
See what we have here. Legs broken, but cause of death's the wound. Small but deep, edges unfrayed. Either a thrust weapon or a thick claw. Maybe a wyvern's. Tough to say, and... breastplate's unusual. Dented. It's got a patina.
An antiquity, I believe. I deal in these things, so... what's puzzling is... why did he don it?
Not likely to learn that from him. Now to figure out where he came from. From that house, I'm assuming, but need to investigate. Got some work to do, so long.
Wait, I will come with you.
Gotta be kidding. This isn't a garden romp. Whatever killed him's damn dangerous and
it might still prowl the area, so if it's all the same, I prefer to accompany you.
So be it. But stay close, keep it down, and don't touch a thing. Trail leads to the house on the hill,
which stands silent as a grave.
Damn it. Servant, stabbed to death. Over a dozen blows with a sharp object. Some post-mortem.
I cannot believe this is the work of a man. It was a monster, to be sure.
Silver tableware. Elven engravings. What the hell's this? Setting for a banquet?
It seems so. What's your suspicion? Did none survive? Gods!
Throats massacred. One mighty blow. Shield along sides old and dented. Sword ceremonial. And Shay handiwork clearly. Ceremonial bowls. For little sacrifices?
Of what? Please, do not say humans.
Ceremonial bowls. For little sacrifices?
Of what? Please, do not say humans.
Multiple wounds on the body. All puncture wounds, but hard to tell what caused them. Victim's human, but the attire's elven.
Are you certain? How did he come by it? We've so few non-humans in Toussaint.
Fled, then dropped to the ground to douse the flames. Didn't manage. Burnt smells growing fainter. Might have been another luckier soul managed to flee.
Perhaps there's no one inside after...
I know you're in there. Breathing's loud and clear. Open up. We mean you no harm.
They remain there?
Listen, I'm a witcher. I'm here to help you. But if that's gonna happen, you gotta answer some questions first. You mentioned them. Who do you mean?
Those, I don't know what they were. Spirits? It all occurred of a sudden. We were staging a scene. The death paying homage. There was a flash of light that blinded me completely. I heard cries, though saw nothing. Then felt my own robes were in flames. I broke and ran, threw off my doublet, leapt in here and shut and locked the door behind me. They pounded on the door. I thought they would get through. I thought I was done for, but in the end, it grew calm.
Who are you exactly?
Durant Faucher Plamondon de Safaran, Lord of these lands, and Chairman of the Society of Friends of the History of Toussaint. We meet here annually to mark the anniversary of the Elfin Homage, but something like this, why, it's a first.
So while reenacting a scene from the past, somehow, unintentionally, you summoned a specter, a Korgorath, or a tube, maybe.
What? What now?
Best thing? You gotta do it again, of course.
Are you mad? Would you have this thing kill us?
No, don't want it to kill anyone. Precisely why I gotta do my job. Summon it again, whatever it is, and tend to it once and for all. Durand, think I can reenact the pledge? The giving of homage, alone?
It was a great, momentous event. The surrender of Toussaint's last elfin king. You will need at least 3 individuals.
You know what I'm gonna ask for. Need your help. But I'll understand if you turn me down. No objections? Good. Let's get to work. Start by clearing the corpses. Got some time. Won't start the reenactment before nightfall. Things of this sort are a lot more likely to work after dusk. One last thing, though. My pay. Don't work for free, you know.
Understood. Just keep the danger at bay, and I shall be generous. Through and through. I will stand, or rather, sit in for King Ludovic, upon the elfin throne, while you, Witcher, will play the Enche ruler. We must don the costumes. All must be just right.
Divethef, the Elven King, hosted Ludovic in his own palace upon his own throne, amidst the blinding glow of a plethora of torches. Divethef laid at Ludovic's feet a loaf of binnen and elfin bread, thus granting humans rule over seat-yielding lands. Then Divethef filled the ornate ceremonial bowls with elven wine, Gwinoet, the sweetest blood of the land that had been torn from him. At long last, the Elfin King grasped his sword and shield, thus symbolically passing command of his armies to humans.
Elfen king, erect in his pride, drew his blade and dropped to his knees. Ludovic then spake.
I accept your allegiance and shall return in 1 year's time to...
Ah! Look! Look! The statues!
Impossible! God's mother!
The hell are these guys? I'll need to run out, basically. Use the corner. Can't survive the damage they're doing. They're spellcasters using mage stuff. They're basically acting the same way that Triss, for instance, would act.
Damn it.
Fuck you.
Damn it.
The sculptures, they came alive. By what witchcraft?
Dunno. Specialize in killing monsters. Reviving them, not so much.
I may know what happened. The statues, you see, once stood in the palace of one Devethov. I acquired them a month past because perhaps I should start at the beginning. This Devethov was to pay tribute to humans, producing statues of this sort each year. Yet he did so but once, for he perished in the massacre of non-humans at the foot of Mount Gorgon in the year 782. It's fortunate he did too, as Devethov had planned Ludovic's downfall, for he sculpted not statues, but columns that masqueraded as such. Columns activated with words said in homage. Columns that would have turned the king and his bodyguards into so much colorful confetti.
Typical. Treachery embodied. Elves. Psheh.
You're no better. Elves were just defending their territory. You humans took it, but you still weren't sated. Had to cut the elves down, every last one.
You? What does that mean? You're a man as we are.
Yeah, in a way. Just ashamed to have to admit it sometimes.
Your words, they're wrong, Witcher. But I'll not let you leave empty-handed. Take this, your reward.
Farewell.
Who knows what the truth actually is, really? Fuck this quest, though. I missed it the first time I did this, the Blood and Wine. I don't regret it at all. It's pure plain bullshit design at the end of the day. Though, here's the thing with the elves that one ought to mention. It's kind of difficult, right? Because you're talking about an entire society, and obviously that gets into a lot of problems in its own right. But the elves, we've seen what elves are when they're in power. And you can argue, yes, the NL elves are different and all that, different world, different thing, right? But at the end of the day, the Wild Hunt, Eridan, all that, they're not exactly the pinnacle of morality in their own right. Maybe the universal truth about the Witcher universe is that everyone's a prick. I think that's the best way of viewing it. Like, really. It's kind of like Warhammer in that perspective. Or Game of Thrones, more like. Well, both, I suppose. I don't quite know what Sapkowski's intent was with the races specifically.
Our guests, never a good omen.
Yes, well, trying to pay homage to The Witcher 1. And the worst way possible! Okay, Spectre oil, need it. Draconids, insectoids, ogroids, cursed ones. It's either cursed ones or it's hybrid. Might be something else. Let's see here. Let's go with cursed one. Okay. Let me see something here. Alchemy. Oils. What do I need here? Hey, Kamara. Yeah, good luck with that. Wait, enhanced? Fuck. Yeah. Well, I'll probably get one hide from this DLC. That's a good part. Anyway, Costin here signing off. Thank you all for watching and stay tuned for more.